Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of What's the App? Today I'm going to show you two different great apps that are really good for all students, but that are especially good for students who have a learning disability or who might just have a really big issue with getting motivated to work hard with their reading and their writing. I've used these with kindergartners and first graders, but they would also both be really helpful for older students who may have a significant delay in reading or writing. The first app is called SEMO Spelling. This was a free app, and it's a great app because it works with students on sounding out words. It is very tactile and colorful, so it definitely draws in a student's attention and they'll be motivated to play it. It can often be used as a reward, so students can be doing an activity working towards having time on this app, and while they're working on the app, they are still getting to practice their spelling ability. So I'll show you how it works. This is the opening page, and if you see, it has different levels. And so each level just has harder spelling words. For this one, it's all words that you can sound out. It has a sister app, which is sight words. So those are great also if you're working with students on sight words. I'm going to show you the sounding out one just because I think it's a little bit better. I'll start with just the first level. Let me see if I can turn it up so you all can hear it. So what it does is it says a word for you.
Spell jet.
And then the student would look down here at the icebergs. It's a little bit hard to see with the brightness. And you would think about the sounds, j, j, and you would put it in order.
J.
And it says the letter as you move it.
E, T, J, E, T, jet, j, e, t,
So,
jet. Good. Spell pod.
one of my favorite parts is how at the end, after you've spelled the word, it sounds it out for you, reinforcing the student to sound out their words. I'll also show you what happens if you spell it incorrectly, because again, even when a student is wrong, it doesn't really make you feel bad about it. It's kind of a funny way to be wrong. So this is asking us to spell pod. So let's say I mixed up my letters and I put my D first.
O, P.
The penguin
Try
just
again.
falls in and you try again. And if you continue to mess up, it will start to help you and give you a little bit more hints, which is great for students too, so they don't completely fail. So that is the SEMO Spelling app. Again, I got it for free. This was a few years ago. It's still on there, and I'm pretty sure it's still free. This is the light version. You can spend more money on getting the version that I think just gives you more words and more levels, but I found that the light free version was totally fine for what I was working with. And the next app I want to show you is a great reading app, and this is a Dr. Seuss app. I love Dr. Seuss, and I just think they're great books to read with students, and sometimes they're trickier for students to read independently because of the vocabulary, and so this app allows you to read the book independently, but it helps you with words you might not understand. So this one is just called The Lorax. It's made by a company called Ohm Books, so they have a lot of different books. I got this one for free on Earth Day. I think it's $1.99 when it's not Earth Day. And you could buy a bundle of like 30 Dr. Seuss books, all made by the same company, for not that much money. So you could do that also. I just have this one and Cat in the Hat because they were both free, and I tend to try to get free apps whenever I can. So the way this one works, what's great about it is, number one, is just, again, that it's tactile. So students who may not be motivated by a book are getting kind of the same resource here through a book, but it's colorful, it's bright, and they can touch things and find out what they do. This one has 3 different ways you can read the book. You can have it autoplay, so if you hit that, it's just going to read the book all for you. You could just put the iPad in front of you and watch it. You can also have it read to me, and then finally you can have it read to myself. I'll show you those 2 parts because I think those are the most useful, and those are what I use most with my students. So the read to me is just going to read the book to you, but you're going to be in control of changing the pages.
Where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing, excepting old crows.
So when it finishes a page, the student has to know to flip the page. What I really like about it is that as it reads, it highlights the word that it's reading, so a student could go along, and as it's highlighting, they're looking at that word that it's saying. And then another great thing, and this, I'll show you this, it happens on both the read to me and read to myself, is you can click on any of the words,
End.
and it'll
At the
tell you
far
what that
end of
word
town,
is.
where the grickle grass grows.
It's going to reread
and
it too.
The wind smells slow and sour when it blows.
Let me show you back home at the read to myself, which is my favorite part of this because you get a lot of students who want to read a book like this, but maybe their reading level isn't quite up to par and they can't quite get it all on their own, but they don't want you as a teacher to read to them, and this allows them to do it. So the read to myself, it looks exactly the same, but then what happens is you as a student get to read it, but if you get stuck on a word, let's say you didn't know grickle grass, which again, a Dr. Seuss book, it's not a normal word, a kid probably isn't going to know what that is, you can click on it,
Grickle.
and it'll read the word to you. So I think that's really helpful with students with a reading disability. They don't need to raise their hand, they don't need to ask for help, they can just do it on their own and find it out. And then another great thing, and this works on any way you're utilizing the book, is you can click on stuff in the pictures and it's going to tell you what they are.
Lamp.
So I clicked on the lamp and it pops out big with the word. This can really improve a student's vocabulary. And then also it's just a fun way for them to interact more with the book.
Rose.
So you're clicking on it and it's telling you what the stuff is. And if it's a word that's in the passage, it also comes up. So if I click here on the grickle grass, it's going to show me where grickle grass was here in the story. So it's allowing students to connect what does grickle grass mean here with what it is in the picture. So again, this is one of my favorites because personally I love Dr. Seuss books, but also I think because it really allows a student who maybe cannot tackle a book independently to feel like they are getting it all done on their own.
Grickle grass.
So that is the Lorax app. Again, Earth Day is soon, so they might be doing it for free again on Earth Day, no promises. But if not, it's not that expensive to buy it on your own. And again, up here it tells you a little, it has an advertisement and it has a treasury. And so you can click on that and you can buy the treasury. Another thing I like in general about this app is that in order to do anything that would involve buying something, you need to check off that you're not a student. So it's kind of like a warning. See if it does it on here. I already told it I was an adult, so it's not going to do it. But if you try to buy anything, a lot of times people have problems with iPads because kids will figure out how to buy stuff on your iPad and then you get a bill from Apple. This one won't let you do it. So it's nice and it's a little protection so you don't get your iPad back and find out that one of your students just spent $50 in the iTunes store. So that's the Lorax. So again, I showed you guys today SEMO spelling, which is really great for students who struggle with sounding out spelling words and who might want another kind of more tactile, more motivating way to learn spelling rather than just kind of having cards and sounding out words, because it really allows them to play a game. And then I also showed you the Lorax, which is personally one of my favorite books, and it's a great app because it really allows students to tackle a book on their own independently, and it still gives them some support so that if they can't read all the words on their own, they're not having to ask for help because the book will actually read it for them. So I hope you enjoyed those, and if you have any questions, you can always email me.